Leeds fans, we need to talk primarily about Illan Meslier because there's a lot of stuff that fans do not understand about the way that he has been performing this season. However, first up, I've got a fun fact for you and a little bit of a bet that if this is a fact that you don't know, you have to subscribe to the channel. Deal? Shake on it? Cool. I've discovered the oldest Leeds United video on YouTube. I don't even know where I managed to find this, but the oldest Leeds United video on YouTube is a replay of a Gary Kelly goal that was uploaded on the 26th of January 2006. The audio quality is terrible and the video quality is equally terrible, but I just thought it was a fun fact. I might share it with you. Anyway, back to Illan Meslier. Now, there are a few critiques of Illan Meslier, and it's completely understandable when you are looking at a team that is performing well and occasionally not picking up the points that you want them to. You look for problems and you look to try and fix what you don't quite know is wrong. But I think we need to go through what all of the issues are and sort of debunk them and discuss them and really land at the solution to the issue around Illan Meslier of who should be the starting goalkeeper for Leeds United. So first up, we have to talk about the mistakes. A lot of people will talk about the fact that Leeds United have conceded a few goals from Illan Meslier mistakes, and that is undeniable. That is something that happens because every goalkeeper makes mistakes. However, I think looking at it statistically, Illan Meslier, not that bad. So first up, we need to talk about what post-shot XG is. You know what XG is? It's the quality of chances that teams have, and it gives you a rough idea of how many goals teams should score. Post-shot XG judges sort of after a shot, how likely is a ball to go in, and from that, you can judge how well a goalkeeper does. Illan Meslier is very narrowly underperforming his post-shot XG. However, that's not that much of an issue because the alternatives are worse, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Plus, there are mistakes at all levels. I'm going to go back to my lovely little bit of video here. Hi there, it's a significantly more tired Joe from the editing part of this video here. Yeah, that bit of the video got copyright claimed and it stopped me showing the entire video anywhere in the world and left it completely demonetized. So just trust me, Allison was really bad. You can watch the Arsenal versus Liverpool highlights if you want, but I'd suggest you don't to stop Sky getting the ad revenue on that because they were cheeky little bastards. Back to the video. Maybe, just maybe, every single goalkeeper is going to make mistakes. If you're going to call out Meslier for making one or two daft errors in a season, you would need to do the same for Caldalo. You would need to do the same for Christopher Claassen. We did the same for Kiko Casilla, who had international caps for Spain. No goalkeeper's perfect. We need to accept that. Second up, people discuss the punching. Now, this is the case in which a ball comes in from a set piece, Meslier opts to punch it when it looks like he could catch it. Fair enough. I understand people being annoyed at this. However, the discussion is a little bit pointless because it isn't an Illan Meslier issue. It's a tactical choice from Daniel Farke. I'll get into why in a minute, but no matter what, Christopher Claassen and Caldalo would do precisely the same thing because it's a tactical instruction. The moment they stop doing it, they get out of the team because they're not doing what the manager tells them to, which is probably one of the things that gets you kicked out of a football team a lot of the time. The goal of doing this is to trigger counterattacks. So, for example, other team has a corner, Meslier punches clear, and if you've got a Dan James or a Crescencio Somerville on the edge of the box, they can just explode out. They've only got one or two defenders they need to deal with, and then suddenly we're up their end of the pitch, potentially one-on-one with the goalkeeper. This is exactly what happened. Well, exactly the goal of when we had that 3v0 when their goalkeeper was up against, was it? I can't quite remember. Preston, maybe? In which massive space in front of all the players, the ball's bobbled out and there's just free run. The referee pulled that one back, unfortunately, but you can see the goal there, and it nearly worked against Bristol City. Meslier punched clear, landed to a Bristol City player on the edge of the box, but Somerville was pressing. They had to pass it in a bit of a hurry. Somerville kept pressing. They made a mistake after the second pass, and Somerville was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He didn't quite manage to dink him, but that would have made it, I think, 2-0 against Bristol City and wrapped the game up. That would have been perfect. Another issue people don't like with Illan Meslier is his passing, his distribution. I've had a look at the stats here. Every single short pass he's played this season, which is any pass that is under 15 yards in length, has been accurate. He's not missed one. Passes under 30 yards, he's missed 3 all season long. which tells me maybe not the worst goalkeeper. However, it's a fair point that his long balls aren't very good. His long ball accuracy drags his general passing accuracy way down, but that's the case for every single goalkeeper. The further you're passing the ball, the more margin for error there is, the more likely it is that someone's going to intercept it. And you've got to consider our wingers and our forwards aren't people that typically win headers. Can you see Dan James towering over a centre-back in the middle of the park? No. We're going to get the second ball, which means that passing completion from long balls isn't the biggest issue in the first place. It's not something that we really need to worry about. And then again, we don't do long balls often at all. We prefer to play out from the back, and when we do play a long ball, it's to relieve a little bit of pressure when we tend to be in the lead. Sorry. It's been a long morning. This is where I say it depends on game state. If we are leading, we'll whack it long, but we won't have players up there because we'll be defending a little bit deeper. Long passing accuracy doesn't matter that much, and occasionally we'll lose the ball to it, but it's not the biggest of issues. And then we need to consider the alternative choices. The first of these choices is Christopher Claesen, and people have pointed out that he's never conceded a league goal for Leeds United, but then again, he's only played like 2 or 3 matches, and this season, I was talking about post-shot XG earlier. Judging by post-shot XG, the shots that Christopher Claesen has conceded this season would mean that opposing sides would only score 0.02 of a goal. 1 in 50 times that they tried that effort, it would go in. Probably not the best judgment for if Claesen is good enough to be a starting goalkeeper. So then you talk about the potential senior goalkeeper, and that feels even worse. Because whilst Illan Meslier was underperforming his post-shot XG by -1 over his 27 matches or so, over Karl Darlow's match and a half, he exceeded his by 1.2. Every 90 minutes that Karl Darlow has played, we concede 0.8 of a goal more than we should. That's shocking. That's not very good. And the fact that people are saying that we could potentially start him instead, without considering the fact that Darlow's distribution is also probably worse than Illan Meslier's, means that we really need to do a little bit of reflection and think that maybe Meslier isn't all that bad. And the third option is sign someone, but we don't have a January window. And I think Illan Meslier has sort of shown his loyalty to the club. And I think if we repay that after a season in which he's one of the best goalkeepers in the league in terms of goals conceded, that's not really the club I want to be in. Because I know that, like, football needs to be ruthless. You need to be moving forwards. For a goalkeeper, Meslier is still extremely young. He's performing well, and it feels weird to replace him. So ultimately, Illan Meslier is fine. Stop it. He's going to be starting for a while. Deal with that. Hope you enjoy the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, whether you like or dislike Illan Meslier. Subscribe if you aren't yet. The dog's losing his mind, so I'll see you later. I think my post-video word to put in the comments might be bark, 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 bark. Thanks, Arlo.